Welcome to Birds of Prey Sports, where we weekly cover Ravens and Orioles news. We're your hosts, TJ and Jared. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about the season opener, Week 1 versus Kansas City. Um, you know, for for a Week 1 game, it was a pretty good game. I would say, definitely at the end of the season, going to be one of those Game of the Year candidates. And you know, we didn't get to win like how we would have wanted to, but as a lot of, Ravens fans and, reporters have been saying, the team showed a lot of fight. They really did. We were down by 10 at one point. We were losing 20 to 10. We could have just rolled over and just said, this is the first game, let's just regroup and go back home against the Raiders. But, we still kept fighting. And, I saw a lot of positivity out of that. And, there's a lot of things that can be fixed. But, all in all, I'm not that mad, that we lost. So, what are just your opening thoughts about the game? We watched it together.
Yeah, very up and down. We had a few good drives. Well, we really only had the one good drive in the beginning of the game. It was the first of the season. It was kind of like an up and down drive. Like we had that weird illegal formation penalty, that was getting called on us that drive. And then, we eventually wound up scoring a touchdown with Derrick Henry being the first Raven and first player to score in the 2024 season. Excuse me. But after that it was just kind of, the same-ish. Like it wasn't great drives. But I don't know in the late third quarter, early fourth, and throughout the fourth quarter, we had some pretty good drives going. I think that the final drive, where we had no timeouts and we had to go like at least 80 or 90 yards to tie the game, which we didn't wind up tying the game. We were out by a toe. And I thought that was a masterful drive by Lamar. You could really tell that the Chiefs defense was tired, and that was the difference between this game and the championship game is the Chiefs defense was tired out. They were on the field a lot. And I thought that you know Lamar should have had those two plays right there to Likely and Zay, and then to Likely again. But it's just unfortunate. I mean, obviously, we would have wanted this game to swing our way, after what happened last year or well, last season, but earlier this year, and I don't know, just lot to take away from, a lot of positives, a lot of no, I wouldn't say there's a lot of negatives. There's just things to improve on, between certain players on defense and probably needing to not be on defense, especially Malik Harrison, like he was getting torched on those plays to Rasheed Rice. I don't know why he's guarding Rasheed Rice in the first place, but he was. I thought Trenton Simpson played a better game than him, and I think that the stats prove that as well. But very surprised to see Nate Wiggins not out there much. I think he only got like 31% of the snaps, if I'm not mistaken. It's like 31 to 34. I forgot. And the other first round rookies played like a 90%. So just kind of something to talk about, I guess, maybe in this video. But I think overall, it's just sucks that we got the loss, but with a lot of new pieces on the team, very impressed how close we kept it, and we were able to win this game too. So
Yeah, and to add on what you were talking about, I agree. I want to see more Trent Simpson, having, being second fiddle to Roquan Smith. I think, going up against, the best team in the league. Malik Harrison, shouldn't be out there as a starter anymore. It should be
right,
Roquan, it should be Trent Simpson. And another thing, why are we having Marlowe on Xavier Worthy? That's something that I mentioned before, when in our pregame video. That seems like a job for Nate Wiggins. I would have wanted to see Nate Wiggins on Xavier Worthy. I mean, they're both rookies. It's not like Xavier Worthy is like, some experienced receiver like a Keenan Allen or a Stephon Diggs. They're both on the same playing field. So it would have been nice to see them go at each other. I still don't know what's the reasoning behind that. Why Harbs or Zach Orr didn't want that, but I feel like that's something to look into going against the Raiders. They have Devontae Adams. and Jacoby Myers, I believe that's two of the wide receivers I know. So I wish, to see
Well, they
more
got
of
Brock
that.
Bowers.
Brock Bowers, yep, tight end. But he's a tight end. I'm talking about, corners and receivers matchup, but that's a good point as well. But that's something I want to see, them two on the field more. And talk about the offense. Isaiah Likely's a dog, man.
Yeah.
I really like what I see out of him, and he it seemed like he almost broke his shoulder or his collarbone, on that one pass that Lamar he just sailed him on, and I'll just let me just go on a tangent with that, real quick. I agree, there was at least three passes on that drive that Lamar just missed, and they could have all ended the game. Well, I mean two passes. They could have both ended the game. If he just if he just got that pass down just a little bit to Likely touchdown. That pass that seemed like it was going to Zay, but he said it was going to Bateman. There was like some miscommunication on that play. If even that play, could have tied the game up. So, that's just something that we got to get like, better at when it comes to the chemistry, the coordination on offense. I'm not gonna lie, it's unacceptable. It really is. I mean, what have you guys been doing this whole training camp? If Bateman is supposed to go out, why didn't he do that? It's really unacceptable. Like, you guys have been saying, oh, Bateman this, Bateman that, the whole offseason. Where was it on that play? You know, because to the naked eye, it looked like Lamar missed Zay. And I mean, and honestly, maybe he did as well. Maybe he did. Maybe both things happened at the same time. But if that pass is supposed to be going to Bateman, that looks embarrassing. It looks embarrassing.
Yeah, I mean, those two are just the miscommunication kings. I mean,
Right.
how many times have we heard over the past few seasons they just miscommunicated?
We've been hearing it since 2021.
Exactly. So it's just
So
like, I don't know. Like, hopefully they can figure it out. But I mean, we've been saying that for how long now? Bateman
four,
has,
3 years.
been very much unavailable, for us. He missed the first few games of 2020, 2026, 2021. I think he missed like the first like 6 games or something like that. He made his debut versus I want to say the Chargers, if I'm not mistaken, that year. I think that
Yep.
was week 5 or something like that. I don't remember exactly, but
We went to that
it
game.
was yeah. So he's good then. Like he was a first down machine back then. I think, but ironically, his best career season has been his last few, games that year. In his rookie season. I think 2022. He had that long touchdown versus the Jets and then versus the Dolphins, and after that. He was kind of quiet and then wound up getting the Lisfranc injury, I believe. Or maybe that was Duvernay who got the Lisfranc injury. I forgot exactly, but I know he got a foot surgery. And in 2023, he was kind of, overshadowed between, Zay, OBJ, Likely, Andrews, all those guys, kind of overshadowed him and he didn't really have a chance to shine. I don't even think he had a 100-yard game last season. I don't even think he had like a 50-yard game last season. Um, I know he had one touchdown versus the Bengals. Excuse me. Sorry if I cough in this video. I'm still recovering being sick. Thanks, mom. But anyways, but yeah, I mean, just miscommunication kinks.
Yeah, and I just want to add a couple more things and then we can get into the stats. Um, I really didn't like some of the offensive play calling. I feel like we kept going after these screens and these passes to the flats. Listen, I'm sorry, but ever since 2019, 9 times out of 10, those don't work in the Baltimore Ravens offense. We're just too slow with it. We're too slow developing the play. We're too slow developing our blocks in order for it to work. I mean, it seems like we're a high school team trying to run a screen. It never works. And I'm tired of seeing Zay go out into the flat and it only gets like 2 yards. And on top of that, he's getting slammed. Like these guys are just knocking his head off. I'm tired of seeing it. And so I feel like we need to, develop more plays that attack the middle of the field. I mean, why can't what I've been wanting to see for the longest time is having Likely and Andrew just going across us right across the middle of the field. I guarantee you they're both going to be eating the whole game. And this gets into feeding everybody. I'm tired of this logic where, oh, well, some games, Henry's gonna have 100 yards, but Zay Flowers is only gonna have 2 catches. No, no, no. That is my response to that. No, no. Why do you think the Chiefs were so successful in 2018 and 2019? They had the best offense in the league. Everybody ate. If they had just gave it to Tyreek Hill every game, they would have lost. And that's why they lost the AFC Championship game because they took Tyreek Hill out of the game. They were so used to giving it to Tyreek all season. They took Travis Kelce out of the game. Chiefs weren't used to that. And the refs, effed them over a couple times, but we need to do that, right? Like, I see the potential of this offense. We have the potential to be more explosive than that. But these guys aren't getting equal chances. Let's try to at least get Zay 5 catches, no matter what they turn out to be. It could be 5 catches for 20 yards. Who cares? But at least he's got 5 catches. Let him work out what he can do with Yak. Let's try to get Andrews 5 catches. Let's try to get Likely 5 catches. You know what I'm saying? It's not that hard. And then we can still incorporate the run. The main guys that should be touching the ball are Henry, Likely, and Andrews and Flowers. Okay? That's and obviously Lamar will do his thing, but besides them, that's 4 players. So you're telling me it's that hard to get them at least 5 touches? It something just gotta be tweaked out there, man. I don't know if you agree with that, but like let's at least get those guys at least 5 touches. I guarantee you we might put a 40 burger on the team if we do that. All those guys just get 5 touches. But doesn't happen a lot in the Ravens games. I mean, even when we had OBJ last year, we barely threw the ball to him, but when we did throw to him, he made something happen. So, throwing passes to guys makes things happen, Ravens. I don't know if you want to accept that or not, but putting the ball
Yeah.
in their hands can get a big play out of that.
Mhm.
So
And
yeah,
you want
that's
to get your
just
playmakers involved, all of them. And
yeah,
we got playmakers, and there's no way to hide, that fact. We got some dogs on our team, Likely, Flowers, Henry, all of them. They're all really good, and obviously Andrews, but I think Likely still in his shadow right now, but um, I don't know. That's just not the Ravens thing to really be utilize their players on offense.
yeah, yeah. And when it comes to me, that's all I had to say. We can get into the stats now, but yeah.
All right. So you can read off the passing stats for the Ravens, or the offense stats. I'm sorry.
Yes. So, Lamar Jackson, 26 of 41, 273 yards, 1 touchdown. Lamar also led in rushing with 16 carries, 122 yards. He didn't have no touchdowns. Derrick Henry, 13 carries, 46 yards. Obviously, he had the touchdown, like how you mentioned, the first touchdown of the season. Um, I'm not going to read Zay Flowers and Justice Hill because they didn't really, do nothing like that. But Isaiah Likely had 9 receptions, 111 yards, 1 touchdown. He balled out in this game. Just I wasn't expecting that. I'm not gonna lie. Rashard Bateman, 2 receptions for 53 yards. That's such a Raven stat line. 2 receptions for 3 yards, 26.5 average. Like that's such a Raven stat line. Justice Hill, I like him in the passing game a lot. 6 receptions for 52 yards. He gets a lot of first downs. He's a yak machine as well. I can't lie. Um, Zay Flowers had 6 receptions for 37 yards. Mark Andrews had 2 receptions for 14 yards. And Nelson Aguilar had 1 reception for 6 yards. So, really it was only Isaiah Likely and, there was some shade to Bateman in there. I think a couple of his passes got called back, maybe like 1 or 2. So, those are the, leading receivers that we had.
Yeah. Well, I had something to say. Oh, I'm not really liking how the obvious play calling is when it comes to who's on the field between Justice Hill and Derrick Henry. Because it seems like when Justice Hill's on the field, it's pass and play. If Derrick Henry's on the field, it's most likely a running play,
Right.
or something. So that's kind of something that it's a little bit concerning that they got to work out, over the course of the season. It's week one, versus the Chiefs on the road. So it's a difficult way to start the season, but hopefully there's some kinks here and there. Or whatever you want to say, like improvements here and there down the line. Um, Lamar did lose a fumble. I think it was really Rosengarten who lost the fumble for him, to be honest. But anyways, to move on to the defensive stats, Roquan Smith leads us in tackles with seven. Four of them are solo. He has one tackle for loss and a pass deflection. Marcus Williams has six tackles. Five of them are solo. He has one pass deflection as well. Trenton Simpson has five tackles. Two of them are solo. He has half of his sack, and he has one pass deflection and one QB hit. Brandon Stevens has four total tackles. Four of them are solo. Odafe has four total tackles. Three of them are solo. He has one QB hit. He got close a few times, and he's one of my breakout candidates of the season. We didn't really do a video talking about that. I wish we did, but if we did, I would have said Odafe was one of my breakout candidates. There was Michael Pierce had four total tackles. Two of them were solo. He has a QB hit as well. Kyle Hamilton was kind of a no-show in this game. He has three total tackles. One of them was solo. Eddie Jackson and Travis Jones both have two total tackles, and two of them were solo. Malik Harrison and Nate Wiggins both have two total tackles. Both of them one solo. Nnamdi Madubuike has two total tackles, a half of a sack, and he has two QB hits. David Ajabo has one total tackle, one of them are solo. He has a QB hit. I'm sorry, a sack and a tackle for loss, and one QB hit. And we lost Van Noy. I don't know how long we're losing for. He has like an eye injury or something like that. But he has a tackle and a tackle for a solo one as well. So that's kind of all I'm going to read. Excuse me. We have one interception. Roquan catches the Ravens' first turnover of the season. We punted the ball twice. We only had one punt return, and Justin Tucker went 2 for 3 on kicking in the game. So he missed a kind of a clutch field goal, to be honest. That would have made it 23-27. And what's it called? We would have went for the win at the end of the game if that was the case. So um, kind of worrying me a little bit in those scenarios. But I mean, it was 50 something yarder, so I guess, and he's like 1,000 years old, so I guess we can give him a break. But we kind of really talked about the offense only. I want to kind of talk about the defense for a little bit before we wrap this video up. I think there's flashes. I think they played good red zone defense early in the game. You know, um, to really hold the Chiefs to some field goals, but that busted coverages and the Xavier Worthy touchdowns are very unacceptable. Obviously it's a lot of new, like I said, with guys like, Patrick Queen, Geno Stone, Jadeveon Clowney, and are the biggest one of all, Mike McDonald gone. It was really going to be interesting to see how, this team is going to navigate that, and how well they're going to do it. And I thought our pass rush was close. It was getting there. I think it was close to getting there. I think that um the Chiefs got the benefit of the doubt, when it comes to maybe some holding calls not getting called or whatever. And I think that the officiating overall was borderline pathetic, but I don't want to be that guy, to say like, oh, NFL's rigged or anything like that, but they had a very, very tough game, that illegal formation penalty. I hadn't heard it all weekend after that. So they were, and it was on Ronnie Stanley, as well. And I watched guys all weekend far off the line further than how he was, as well. So I don't know. I don't know what they were trying to do there. So didn't really seem fair. That holding call on Linderbaum was very weak as well. On that big Lamar rush. Excuse me. But anyways, going back to the defense, um they were up and down. You could definitely tell, with that blown coverages. I think the Ravens in total had like one blown coverage last year. That's in that Jaguars game. But you could definitely tell there's a lot of learning kinks, a lot of new pieces, and I was very impressed with David Ojabo, getting in the backfield, getting Mahomes early in the game, you know. And Odafe again, he's almost away. He's almost, that's what they call him. That's what they're gonna continue to call him if you can't get those, if you can't finish, and we saw what's his face, Broderick Washington get, put on skates a few times by Patrick, so it's gonna be important for us to, finish, these sacks, because um can't give Mahomes extra time. He's an annoying little shit back there, so I mean, what are you to say with the defense?
Before I talk about the defense, I just want to say, to kind of piggyback off of the illegal formation penalties. I saw a tweet that said that after Sunday, there was 15 illegal formations called, and the Ravens had five alone in the game on Thursday. So that just shows how, I mean, 15 out of all the other 31 teams, because I don't think any was called on the Chiefs in that game. So I think it was just the Ravens. One was called on the Chiefs. Okay, so that just goes to show you that wasn't the volume of that call isn't really consistent. It wasn't a lot in terms of, it wasn't a lot dispersed throughout the rest of the NFL. So hopefully, there's a little bit of consistency and fair calling with that, in future games and in the playoffs. But, going back, to the defense, in my opinion, they look slow. And, especially guys like
Forgot to
Roquan
mention that,
on some
yeah.
plays, they were killing us over the middle. Rasheed Rice was really just eating over the middle, and all he was doing was just running those slants, or those drag routes. And, we just couldn't really stop it or have an answer for it. Roquan was on him a couple times, and, Rasheed made him look slow. Obviously Malik Harrison, in coverage, he's just horrible. Pacheco, he had no answer for him. They threw like a wheel route to
Yeah.
Pacheco on one play, and he just
Yeah,
he just
Malik
stood
Harrison
there.
just looked like an idiot out there. I don't want to be rude, but like he looked like a practice squad guy, out there trying to make a tackle.
Yeah, he was diving at a ghost. I don't know what he was seeing, but he just looked confused out there. And even when it came to Xavier Worthy, when they did that, end around, toss around play, just
You,
way too fast.
I
So
don't want to interrupt, but I watched a video about that play exactly, and you know, Malik Harrison got fooled on that play, because I think they faked run, and then they handed it off to Worthy to do the end around, and then Malik Harrison just kind of was flat footed. He just kind of stayed there, and Kyle Hamilton couldn't get past this guy, so he tried to kick out the guy, tried to kick out Worthy, so that the middle linebacker would come in and make the play on the inside. Since Kyle Hamilton was getting blocked, but he wouldn't make sure he didn't want to let him go outside, go around everybody. So he pushed him back inside, but nobody was there. And that was supposed to be where Malik Harrison was. The Chiefs did something similar earlier in the game, and their guy was there to tackle Lamar, I think it was. So I mean, I don't want to see Malik Harrison on Sunday. I don't want to see Falele out there on Sunday. I don't want to see Jalen Armour Davis out there on Sunday. Jalen Armour didn't really do nothing bad, but the two in particular, Malik Harrison, Daniel Falele, I don't want to see out there. They're not good football players. They're not going to be good football players with us. I don't know what we see in these two guys to make sure that they're out there, but I'm sorry. You got to rock with Blaine Cleveland at right guard. Because, I don't know. I just thought that Falele played like absolute dog shit, and then, and then Rosengarten, getting replaced by Makari. Rosengarten's first ever snap. He had to freaking cover freaking big ass, Chris Jones, and I don't think that that's going to be very successful. And then you know, this kind of reminded me of the play in Pittsburgh, a few years ago when we tried to go for two to win the game, where we left TJ Watt wide, open and not unblocked, and he got in Lamar's face, and Lamar couldn't make the throw to Andrews. It was the same on the final play of this game. Chris Jones was left unblocked for Justice Hill. It's like a freaking coughing baby versus an atom bomb. Like why would you want to have that matchup? You know, and I don't know, just very tough game for the right side of the offensive line.
Yeah, and now that I think about it, why does Harbs or Todd Monken think having Justice Hill and Chris Jones is a good matchup? I mean, at least put Henry on him, but you know,
Right? Why wasn't Henry out in the field in the first place?
yeah, I again, I really don't know. We're so insecure when we play the Chiefs, but going back, like I said, going back to the defense, I just feel like we look very slow out there. We just gave up a lot of plays that, we didn't really need to. And hopefully it can get fixed,
Hmm.
by the next game. I will say I'm very impressed by our D line. I feel like they got a lot of pressure on Mahomes. There were some plays where we should have sacked him, and we kind of ran into our own players. We kind of ran into each other. And you know, somebody just called me. I don't know what that was about. We kind of ran into our own players. And there was this one play where I think Broderick Washington ran into um
Mbappe, I think.
Odafe, yeah. And Mahomes got out of it and threw like some 20-yard pass to Travis Kelce. And that was a third down and they converted to a first down. So I think our D line is gonna turn up, fine. They got some good pressure on Mahomes and you know, I feel like if we meet them again in the playoffs, those plays where they converted turn into sacks. I hope it can be like that. So, I think in terms of coverage, in terms of the linebackers, put Trent out there. Let's see more of Wiggins. We drafted him, for a reason. Let's see him actually on the field, and let's just keep going with this D line, what they got cooking up so far,
Yeah.
and I feel like we'll be just fine. I really do. So, that's what I think about the defense. I will say, touching back on the offense, let's talk about this, and then we can wrap it up. So Harbs today said that we didn't get Derrick Henry to give him 30 carries a game, and I'm just taking my head. So do we get him to give him 13? Like
I would say like 30 is kind of excessive, but 20 is probably where
25.
we need to be at,
25.
where it's like he's the main guy, and my biggest issue was, you know, the right side of the offensive line just couldn't have run block for anything. Why did they try the left side? You didn't really see much of Voorhees in this game, which was good. And Stanley when he wasn't being, tortured by the refs, he did pretty well as well. Linderbaum as well. Why didn't we try the left side of the offensive line? Or maybe have a pulling guard, where on an outside stretch play on the right side or whatever. Like I don't know, like it's stuff like that. I guess they're gonna have to work these things out. But that comment was kind of ridiculous. Like because if we're gonna sign this freaking superstar running back and treat him like Gus Edwards, why'd you get rid of Gus Edwards? He was cheaper.
Yeah, and that's very true. I feel like that's just Harbs yapping, like how he usually does. It's unacceptable too. It's embarrassing that we even waste money like that. So, I feel like, in my opinion, Henry should at least get 25 touches no matter what. And you do bring up a great point. It seemed like a lot of his runs were up the middle, like running right into Chris Jones, like running right into the heart of their D line. Like when we ran, kind of, to the outside. I feel like to the right side, the outside right side, that's when we were getting a lot of success. I really do. So, hopefully, we can kind of look at the film and see what's our strongest side, where's the left side. We're gonna try some run plays to that side or the right side. Hopefully we can get that figured out. But running up the middle, every time it just gets predictable as well. It really does. I mean, teams see how big Derrick Henry is, so it's not that hard to see if they're going to run up the middle. So let's try to mix it up a little bit. Make it unpredictable. We didn't even see that misdirection when it came to Lamar and Henry. That's the main thing that people were fantasizing about, having both in the backfield. Who's gonna end up with the ball? We didn't see none of that. Instead, it was just Lamar running for his life most of the time. So, let's also fix that as well. But it may seem like it was a horrible game, after all the stuff we were talking about, but we still ended up losing by 7. We got dogs on the team. We got dogs on offense, dogs on defense. We just need to be a little bit more disciplined. So, hopefully, against the Raiders, honestly, I feel like we should blow them out the water. I honestly do. Garner Minshew, it's not even a thought in my head,
You know
when
that's
it
not
comes
gonna happen.
to, he's not even a thought in my head when it comes to a top 25 quarterback. Honestly, he should be sacked at least 7 times in this next game. I would be so mad if he's not sacked at least 7 times. He should be sacked 7 times in this next game. I almost said something, but you know, we should blow them out the water, honestly. But that's all I got to say about that. Do you have any
Yeah,
last?
well, honestly, we'll just get into that in our pregame video. Oh, no, I don't have any last words. Just I just think that I think we should beat the Raiders too. I just don't think we'll blow them out.
It'll be embarrassing to put them out. But that's all we have, for you guys in this video. You know, I'm excited. I'm excited. We're both excited that the NFL season is back. Even besides watching Ravens games, it's fun to watch all the other games. It was fun to watch the Brazil game with the Packers and the Eagles. It was
Well,
fun to watch.
I don't know if a
I
lot of people got
watched
to
the
watch
Rams.
that.
Yeah, that was a good game to watch. It was also fun to watch the Rams and the Lions. It was also fun to watch the
I'm
Bengals.
saying it was fun. I hate watch the Bengals.
Yeah, I hate watch the Bengals. Yep, I don't know what's going on with them. It was just fun to watch the games that were available to us. So, we're grateful the NFL season is back. Hopefully we can get our goal of winning the Super Bowl this year. But yeah, besides that, make sure you subscribe to our other channel, Casual Cinema. Make sure you also follow and check out our social medias, our Twitter, our Instagram, our TikTok. Jared's cooking up some amazing graphics on there, for both the Orioles and the Ravens. He's really working hard with that. So make sure you like them, show them some love, comment. Um, Also, comment under this video, what did you think about the Ravens week 1 performance? I know some of you guys might not comment, but just try to leave one. We really like to see, output from you guys. So, let's see if we can get that rolling. Um, you know, Anything else? Any last
Nope.
words? Any last words?
Go Ravens.
Go. I like that. I like that. We're TJ and Jared, and we're out.
We're out.